I'm 81 years old. I've buried my parents, my wife, and too many friends to count. I've watched the world change in ways I never could have imagined. And after 8 decades on this planet, I've realized something that nobody, not my parents, not my teachers, not society ever told me about life. And it's so simple that it's going to frustrate you when I say it. But stick with me, because understanding this one thing changed everything for me. It's the reason I wake up happy at 81, when so many people half my age are miserable. But before I tell you what it is, let me tell you what I believed for most of my life. Because I bet you believe the same thing right now. I believed that life was a problem to be solved. I thought that if I just worked hard enough, planned well enough, and made the right decisions, I could figure it all out. I could reach some destination where everything would finally make sense, where I would feel complete, where the struggle would end. I spent 60 years trying to solve life. And you know what I discovered? Life is not a problem to be solved. Life is an experience to be lived. And nobody told me that. Let me explain what I mean. When I was 25, I thought I had it all figured out. I had a good job, a beautiful young wife, and a plan. By 30 I'd have a house. By 40 I'd be successful. By 50 I'd be wealthy. By 60 I'd retire. And then I would finally enjoy my life. So I worked, I sacrificed, I postponed. I told myself that all the hard work now would pay off later, that happiness was waiting for me somewhere down the road. And here's the thing, I achieved everything I set out to achieve. I got the house, the career, the money. I retired at 62 with enough to live comfortably for the rest of my life. I had solved the problem of financial security. But you know what happened? I wasn't happy. I had spent 37 years treating life like a puzzle to be completed. And when I finally put the last piece in place, I felt empty, because I realized I had been so focused on solving the puzzle that I forgot to actually live while I was doing it. All those years I was too busy to really be present with my kids. All those vacations I didn't take because I was saving for retirement. All those sunsets I didn't watch because I was answering emails. All those conversations I cut short because I had work to do. I was solving the problem of tomorrow, while completely ignoring the gift of today. And here's what nobody tells you. There is no tomorrow, where everything gets easier. There is no finish line, where you finally get to relax and enjoy yourself. There is only today, and if you're not living today, really living it, then you're not living at all. I lost my wife Margaret 7 years ago. We were married for 52 years. And when she died, do you know what I thought about? I didn't think about the house we owned, or the money we saved, or any of the problems we solved together. I thought about the morning coffee we shared on the back porch. I thought about the way she laughed at my terrible jokes. I thought about dancing with her in the kitchen when our favorite song came on the radio. I thought about the small, ordinary moments that I almost missed because I was so busy trying to solve life. Those moments, those tiny, unremarkable moments that I almost overlooked, those were life. That was the whole point, and nobody told me. So here's what I want you to understand, and I want you to really hear this. You are not waiting to live. You are living right now. This moment as you watch this video, this is your life happening, not some future version of your life when you've solved all your problems. Right now, I talk to young people sometimes, and they're all stressed about the same things I was stressed about at their age. When I get the promotion, when I pay off my debt, when I find the right partner, when I lose the weight, when I buy the house, then I'll be happy. I want to grab them by the shoulders and shake them. Not because they're wrong to want those things, but because they're missing the point entirely. They're treating life like a problem to be solved, instead of an experience to be lived. You want to know what I've learned in 81 years? The problems never end. You solve one, and another appears. That's not a bug in life, that's a feature. The problems are there to keep you engaged, to give you something to work on, to help you grow. But they're not the point. They were never the point. The point is the experience itself. The point is being alive, being present, being here. I had a friend named Walter, smartest man I ever knew. He spent his entire life planning for retirement, planning for his kids' futures, planning for every possible scenario. He had spreadsheets, charts, backup plans for his backup plans. He was going to solve life better than anyone. Walter died at 74, heart attack. All those plans, all that preparation, all that solving gone in an instant. And you know what he said to me a month before he died? He said, "Frank, I spent my whole life getting ready to live, and I never actually did it." That haunts me to this day, because I was just like Walter. I was getting ready to live instead of living. And if I hadn't had a wake-up call at 62, if I hadn't felt that emptiness after achieving everything I thought I wanted, I might have died the same way, prepared for a life I never actually experienced. So let me tell you what changed for me. At 63, I started saying yes to things I had always put off. I took that trip to Italy I'd been postponing for 40 years. I learned to play the piano. Badly, but I learned. I started calling old friends I'd lost touch with. I sat on my porch and watched sunsets. Not because I was waiting for something, but because the sunset itself was enough. I stopped trying to solve life and started experiencing it. And that's when I finally understood what it means to be alive. Being alive isn't about achievement. It isn't about security. It isn't about figuring everything out. Being alive is about presence. It's about showing up for each day, not as a step towards some future destination, but as the destination itself. I'm 81 years old. My knees hurt, my hearing's going, and I take more pills in the morning than I can count. But I'm happier now than I was at 40, when I had my health and my youth and my entire future ahead of me. Because now I understand something I didn't understand then. Every day is a gift, not in some cliché, greeting card way, in a real practical way. Every morning I wake up is another day I get to experience being alive. Another day I get to see the sky, feel the sun, talk to people I care about, eat food I enjoy, think thoughts that interest me. That's not a problem to be solved. That's a miracle to be appreciated. Here's something else nobody tells you. Gratitude isn't just a nice idea. It's the secret to happiness. And I mean real gratitude, not the performative kind, where you make a list of things you're grateful for and then go back to being miserable. Real gratitude is when you look at your ordinary life, your boring, regular, unsolved life, and you realize it's extraordinary, because you're here, you're breathing, you're experiencing. Billions of years of cosmic history had to unfold exactly as it did for you to exist in this moment. And here you are, alive, aware, capable of feeling and thinking and loving. That's not nothing. That's everything. I wake up every morning now, and before I do anything else, I just lie there for a minute and appreciate the fact that I woke up. Sounds silly, right? But at 81, you understand that waking up isn't guaranteed. Every day above ground is a good day. And starting my day with that awareness changes everything that follows. Now let me be clear about something. I'm not saying don't work hard. I'm not saying don't plan for the future. I'm not saying don't solve problems. Those things matter, but they're not the point. They're just part of the experience. Work hard, but don't sacrifice the present for a future that isn't guaranteed. Plan for tomorrow, but live today. Solve problems, but don't forget that the space between problems is where life actually happens. My daughter asked me recently what I would do differently if I could live my life over, and I told her I would worry less and be present more. I would stop treating life like an exam I needed to pass and start treating it like a journey I was lucky to be on. I would hug my kids more, work late less, and stop postponing joy until some imaginary later that might never come. Because here's the truth nobody tells you. Later is not guaranteed. The only moment you're certain to have is this one. And if you spend this moment worrying about the next one, or regretting the last one, or planning for some future one, you're missing the only moment that actually exists. I've seen too many people die with regrets, and the regrets are always the same. Not I wish I'd worked more, not I wish I'd worried more, not I wish I'd solved more problems. The regrets are always about the moments they missed, the experiences they postponed, the life they put off living while they were busy preparing to live. Don't let that be you. Please, I'm telling you this as an 81-year-old man who wasted too many years learning this lesson. Life is not a problem to be solved. Life is happening right now, in this moment, and it's the only moment you've got. So put down your phone after this video and go experience something. Call someone you love. Take a walk outside. Cook a meal you enjoy. Do something, anything that reminds you that you're alive right now, not waiting to be alive later, because later doesn't exist. There is only now, and now is everything. I don't know how much time I have left. At 81 the clock is running out. But I can tell you this, these last 19 years, since I stopped trying to solve life and started living it, have been the richest years of my existence. Not because I achieved more or accumulated more, but because I finally understood what life is really about. It's about this, right here, right now, the experience of being alive. That's the one thing no one told me. And now I'm telling you. If this message means something to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to this channel because I have more truths to share while I'm still here to share them. And leave a comment telling me what you're going to do differently starting today. Don't wait until you're 81 to figure this out. Don't wait until it's almost too late. Start living now. Thank you for listening to an old man. Now go live your life.